Hey, what's up YouTubers, and welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts collection overview video. And today I'm finally going to be going over my Western DVD and Blu-ray collection that I had talked about for a long time now. The way I have this organized, I have a couple of box sets up on the top, and then I have my Wild East DVDs and Blu-rays on the first shelf and a half. Then I have a couple of box sets there starting with Deadwood. And then going on to the third shelf down, I have the DVDs and Blu-rays mixed, but they're in alphabetical order to give it a little bit of some organization. And usually I don't mix Blu-rays and DVDs, but in this case I do with all the Westerns. And I do have some that didn't fit on the shelf and some that I have in other collections because I do usually keep my movies separated by company. So I pulled some out and I'll show you guys those separately at the end. But we'll go through and I'll start at the top here with the box sets. And the first one here was a Sam's Club exclusive. And this was the Clint Eastwood Rawhide seasons 1 through 3. The first 3 seasons when Clint played Rowdy Yates in the show Rawhide. Second one is Gunsmoke, the first 4 seasons. And it is a classic show. I know this show ended up going for like 15, 20 years, but I think the earliest seasons were the best. It's, Marshall Matt Dillon, that was a great show. Here is an old boy here. This one is one of the very first box sets I ever bought. This is the Clint Eastwood Westerner. And this one comes with The Outlaw Josie Wales, Pale Rider, and Unforgiven, and these each come in a snapper case. They don't even make snapper cases anymore. They haven't for years, but this box set's probably 25 years old when DVDs first came out. So I'll always keep that. It's been surpassed in quality by now on Blu-ray and 4K, but I'm always going to keep that box set. Here is a twin pack of the famous duo of Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer. They call me Trinity, and Trinity is still my name. Widescreen, digitally remastered. They each come in their own case. Put out by a company called Hen's Tooth Video. It's a company I'm not familiar with really. So the next one is a Lonesome Dove collection box set. This one has some limited edition stuff that comes with it. You get a commemorative photo booklet and some playing cards and some other stuff like that. This one comes with, let's see, you get Lonesome Dove, the original, from 1989. You get Return to Lonesome Dove from 1993. You get Streets of Laredo from 95 and Dead Man's Walk from 1996. And it comes in this nice little hard box. It's a really cool little edition. Picked that up about 10 years ago or so. That's all DVD. Here is a box set from Anchor Bay. This is long out of print. I never opened this one because I do have these movies on different formats, but this is the Spaghetti Western collection, Once Upon a Time in Italy, and it comes with A Bullet for the General, Compañeros, 4 of the Apocalypse, Kioma, and Texas Adios. And it comes in it's supposed to look like a weathered leather book, and it looks pretty cool. The next one is a box set. This is another oldie in my collection. This is a John Wayne box set. It comes with Rio Bravo and The Searchers. And it comes with some extras like a thick book, and I think it has an extra DVD for features. Here is a German box set, and this is a 3-pack. This is called Django. And this one was limited to, I think, 10,000. I got number 739. And in this set, you get a belt buckle, which is pretty beat up. I never wore the belt buckle, but this is the way it came. I bought this secondhand from a fellow YouTuber he doesn't even make videos anymore. But in this DVD box set, you get the original Django. Let's see, what else did you get? You get Texas Adios. And Django Strikes Again, you get a 3-disc set. And it comes with a little booklet. It's pretty cool, nice little DVD set. I got that on a pretty good deal on a trade with a fellow YouTuber a few years back now. And the last box set on the top shelf is a John Wayne collection tin. And these are some of his very earliest. It says there's 15 movies. You get a deluxe booklet. And then these are the movies that you get. Blue Steel, Dawn Rider. If you guys want to pause it and read it, I'm just going to keep moving because I have a lot to show. But it's a pretty nice little set. And I got this pretty cheap. It's a good way to start a John Wayne collection on the cheap, and then you can start picking up some of the better ones later down the road. So here we will get into what I'm probably the most proudest of in my spaghetti western, or just my western collection. This first shelf and a half. These are DVDs that are put out by a company called Wild East here in the US. They are all limited to 1,000, except for a couple. There's a couple that were limited to 2,000. I'm only missing one out of the whole collection, and that's the very first one. It's a preview compilation. But I will just go through and I'll just kind of blaze through this. This is the first one. This is Wild East 2. This is Eugenia Desaad. Now this isn't a spaghetti western or even a western at all, but this is just part of the Wild East collection, so I'm just going to go through this. Next one is Boot Hill. Day of Anger. The Violent Professionals. For a Few Previews More. Between God, the Devil, and a Winchester, and Johnny Yuma, double feature. Most of these are out of print now and they're hard to find. The Man from Nowhere, starring Giuliano Gemma. Kill and Pray. Pistoleros. Ben and Charlie. George Eastman is in that one. Another double bill. You got Beyond the Law and The Grand Duel. If You Meet Sartana, Pray for Your Death. The Dirty Outlaws. Gentleman Killer. Taste of Killing. Matalo. Very hard to find that one. A Reason to Live, A Reason to Die. Fort Yuma Gold. Another Giuliano Gemma picture. Another double billing. Clint, the Nevada's Loner, and There's a Noose Waiting for You, Trinity. Jamango. Hate Thy Neighbor and Django the Last Killer. George Eastman double bill. Goliath and the Barbarians and Goliath and the Vampires. Again, it's not a western, but it's with the Spaghetti East collection. Wild East, I'm sorry. Churchill's Leopards and Salt in the Wound. The Forgotten Pistolero and the Unholy Four. 3 Bullets for Ringo. Kill Them All and Come Back Alone. Ringo the Lone Rider and the Cobra. Payment in Blood and Red Blood, Yellow Gold. A Long Ride from Hell. Don't Turn the Other Cheek. Kill or Be Killed, and Kill the Wicked. Dead Men Don't Make Shadows and Django Meets Sartana. Confessions of a Police Captain and Summertime Killer. Tequila Joe and A Hole Between the Eyes. Full House for the Devil and The Moment to Kill. George Hilton double billing. I Am the Law and Mafia. Arizona Colt and Arizona Colt Hired Gun. Oops. Hands Up Dead Man, You're Under Arrest, and Revenge of the Resurrected. It Can Be Done, Amigo. Dead Men Don't Count and Kill and Pray. Death Rides a Horse. Farewell Friend and Rider on the Rain. Killer Caliber 32 and Killer Adios. The Road to Fort Alamo and A Place Called Glory. And the last one on this shelf is Sartana's Here, Trade Your Pistol for a Coffin, and Django Against Sartana. So we will move down now to shelf 2. And we continue with the Wild East. The first one here is Alive or Preferably Dead and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. We have Reverend Colt and Vengeance is a Colt 45. The Brute and the Beast, starring Franco Nero. El Rojo. And this is a pretty cool one to get because you get the 2011 Los Angeles Spaghetti Western Film Festival, where they have a lot of interviews with some of the actors who played in these spaghetti westerns over the years. It's a pretty cool little feature. There's another double billing, and the Crows Will Dig Your Grave and the Dirty 15. Nest of Vipers and Tails You Lose. The Tramplers. And God Said to Cain and Twice a Judas. Klaus Kinski. This one is A Coffin for the Sheriff and Blood at Sundown. Those Dirty Dogs and Wanted. In a Colt's Shadow and Savage Gringo. His Name Was King and Gunfight at High Noon. Here's the first Blu-ray they released. This was a double dose of Pecos. You get My Name Is Pecos and Pecos Cleans Up. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo. The Wild and the Dirty and Chaco. The Last Tomahawk and A Man Called Gringo. Here is Garingo and Two Crosses at Danger Pass. This one is May God Forgive You, I Won't, and Massacre at Canyon Grande. Here is Sonny and Jed and the Ugly Ones. Adios Gringo and Blood for a Silver Dollar. A Few Dollars for Django and 10 Killers Come From Afar. We have Ramon the Mexican and California. Blackjack and the Belle Starr Story. Days of Vengeance and Eric the Viking. Here's another Blu-ray, Requiem for Gringo. And the last one is A Gun for 100 Graves and Ride for a Massacre. So that was the entire Wild East catalog, except for one that I'm missing. And there's a couple more that are going to be released soon. So keep an eye out for that. Go check out their website. That's wildeast.net if you guys want to pick any of those up. A lot of these are out of print, so good luck finding those on a secondary market. They're very expensive, but they do still have some available at wildeast.net if you want to go check that out. So I have a couple of box sets here, and this is the HBO series Deadwood. This is the complete first season, complete second season, and complete third season on DVD. I don't have the movie that wrapped up the series that just came out recently. I didn't pick that up yet, but these were really nice sets on DVD. I mean, I saw what the pretty dusty. I saw what the Blu-ray box set looks like, and it's pretty crap compared to what these DVD sets look like. So I may just hang on to these DVD sets. I probably will at one point, though, upgrade just to see the quality. I'd like to see that series again. I've seen it twice all the way through already. It's a great, great show. It's second to me only to The Sopranos as my favorite TV series of all time. So here is they call this the Western, or Definitive TV Western Collection. This was pretty cheap. I got this on eBay about, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. And I think it was about 30 or 40 bucks, but on the inside here, I'll show you guys really quick. It just opens up, and it has over 600 television episodes of different shows over the years. And I think it was put out by Mill Creek. Yeah, it was. So you get, all the DVDs are stacked like this in these little sleeves. And then you get kind of a compendium here, like a little catalog, and it'll tell you what episodes are in here. And I'll give you a couple examples. There's The Adventures of Jim Bowie, The Adventures of Kit Carson, Buffalo Bill Jr., Pistols and Petticoats, just a lot of stuff from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. A lot of this stuff is probably public domain. And I assume that the quality is not the greatest. I just wanted to pick up this set to check it out. I'll put that away later. Continue moving on here. Now we get into the movie collection, and these are Blu-rays and DVDs mixed, and these are in alphabetical order. I'm just going to kind of blaze through these because I do have 3 more shelves plus some extra stuff I'm going to show at the end. But here is Kino Lorber's 100 Rifles, starring Jim Brown, Raquel Welch, and Burt Reynolds. I have the 310 to Yuma DVD, starring Russell Crowe and Christian Bale, and then I did upgrade that to Blu-ray. I have a hard time letting things go, so sometimes I should be getting rid of the DVDs and stuff, but I'd still like to collect all that stuff. Here's Adios Sabata with Yul Brynner. Here's Appaloosa. Picked that up cheap at Best Buy, $5. Still haven't watched it yet. Here's a Giuliano Gemma film called Amigos. A Town Called Hell. Bad Man's River. Barquero. Banditos. Blind Man. This one is called The Stranger and the Gunfighter, or it was also called Blood Money. This is an import. Here's Bone Tomahawk. First time I saw this movie, I didn't really care too much for it. I watched it a second time and it grew on me, and I actually really like this movie now, Bone Tomahawk. Here's a twin billing of Boot Hill and Django the Bastard. Breakheart Pass, starring Charles Bronson. That's from Eureka. And then here's Breakheart Pass from Kino Lorber. Here's Broken Lance from Twilight Time. Here's Broken Trail, another one I got really cheap. Still haven't watched that one yet. got Cannon for Cordoba, Captain Apache. There's a John Wayne title called Chisholm, another cheapie I got for $5 several years ago. Here is a Clint Eastwood Western collection. They call it the Western Icon Collection. And in this set you get High Plains Drifter, Joe Kidd, and 2 mules for Sister Sarah. This one is called Colt in the Hand of the Devil. This is Comanche Moon, the second chapter in the Lonesome Dove saga. Here is Comes a Horseman from Twilight Time. Here's Comin' At Ya, Cowboy from Twilight Time. Dances with Wolves, 20th anniversary, one of the best westerns ever made. Death Rides a Horse. This one is called Days of Violence with Peter Lee Lawrence. Here is a cheap set called the Django Collection. You get 6 movies: A Man Called Django, Django the Runner, Hanging for Django, Django A Bullet for You, Return of Django, and Pistol for Django. Here's the Anchor Bay twin billing of Django and Django Strikes Again. This one is called Death Sentence. This one is called Django Shoots First. Here's a steelbook of Django Unchained. A couple of Kino Lorber titles here. This is Face to Face, A Fistful of Dollars, A Fistful of Dynamite, also known as Duck You Sucker. And here's the MGM release of Duck You Sucker, also known as A Fistful of Dynamite. Here's a twin billing, 5 Bloody Graves and Nurse Sherry. Here's a 4-film collection, A Fistful of Trinity. You get Watch Out, We're Mad, 2 Missionaries, Soldier of Fortune, and Aladdin. Those are Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer collaborations. For a few dollars more, here's a twin billing of Fort Yuma Gold and Damned Hot Day of Fire. Here is 4 Candles for My Colt, 4 of the Apocalypse. It's a Western that was directed by Fulci. Here's a Twilight Time release, From Noon Till 3. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And the Japanese version of that called The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. So that was the end of shelf 3. We're making pretty good time here. We'll just keep moving on. Now, the next 3 down here are the same title. This is the DVD of The Great Silence, directed by Sergio Corbucci, starring Klaus Kinski. And then I upgraded that to, this is the Japanese Blu-ray of it. That's the same title. And then I believe this was a French release. I haven't put this one in yet to check it out. I was looking on the back. I was going to put this in before the video so I can confirm this, but it says it was the 2K restoration of it from Italy and France, and then it says it's Italian with English subtitles, so I don't know if there's an English track on here. I meant to go check it out, but I forgot to do so. It's from a company called filmmovement.com. I don't know if that's French or Italian, but if anybody knows if this has an English track, let me know. I have not popped it in to check it out yet. And then we have a twin billing of the Grand Duel and Kioma. 2 excellent spaghetti westerns you can get very, very cheap. Here is TV Guide Presents The Very Best of Television. This is Gunsmoke, the first season. Love that show. Here is a classic cinema release of Guns of Diablo, starring Charles Bronson. Here Here is an Olive signature release of Hanny Calder starring Raquel Welch. Here's a Shout Factory release of Hang 'em High, 50th anniversary edition. Here is the Raro Video Hanging for Django. And the Anchor Bay release on DVD of Hellbenders. And we have a TV series that I enjoyed. Okay, I had a brief interruption. I had a phone call. I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. That was my mistake. So I have to go back a little bit here now. We were talking about Hell on Wheels. I did put it in airplane mode so we won't be interrupted again. But this was a show I really enjoyed. This was called Hell on Wheels. It ended kind of funny. There was a couple of things I would have changed in this series, but overall it was a great series. I really enjoyed it. I got season 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Hell on Wheels on Blu-ray. The next one here is a Olive signature of High Noon. Twilight Time release of Ombre. The special collector's edition of Hondo starring John Wayne. This was an old one. It's a full screen. This is very, very old. This is when DVDs first came out. This is Hour of the Gun, Twilight Time. This is the TV show How the West Was Won. This is kind of rare, hard to find this now. This is the complete first season. Here is a DVD of How the West Was Won. It's a 3-disc special edition. Here is a Twilight Time release of Lawman. Here is the Long Riders. Here's an old snapper case of Jeremiah Johnson, starring Robert Redford. Excellent movie. Here is a Anchor Bay edition of Keoma, starring Franco Nero. Here's Keoma 2, also starring Franco Nero. Now this one is called the Last of the Bad Men. And this is supposed to be one of Tarantino's best or favorite spaghetti westerns, starring George Hilton. Here is a twin billing of The Last Gun and $4 of Revenge. Here's Lonesome Dove, the complete first season. It's a 6-disc set. Here is the Magnificent Seven collection. And this one comes with the original The Magnificent Seven, The Return of the Magnificent Seven, Guns of the Magnificent Seven, and the Magnificent Seven Ride Again. Very nice little set. Really enjoy that. And then here's the remake of the Magnificent Seven. This is the Steelbook. Here is A Man Called Horse. The Man from Laramie. This is a Western comedy called A Man from the East, starring Terrence Hill. Here is the Man with No Name trilogy. And of course, this one comes with A Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Here's the Kino version of The Mercenary. And then here's an import of the same film. Here is the MGM release of A Minute to Pray, A Second to Die. Here is the Kino version Blu-ray of A Minute to Pray, A Second to Die. Monty Walsh. More Dead Than Alive. My Name is Nobody, and My Name is Still Nobody. Here's the Blu-ray US release of My Name is Nobody. It's a comedy. It's a very, very good movie. It has a good soundtrack to it. Henry Fonda and Terrence Hill play very good roles together. I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was excellent. I'm not really the biggest Western comedy fan, but that was very well done, I thought. There's Navajo Joe. Here's Once Upon a Time in the West. This is the US Special Collector's Edition. And here's Once Upon a Time in the West. This is the UK Special Edition. Here's Once Upon a Time in the West Steelbook from the UK. And those are all, the first two are DVDs, and this one is a Blu-ray, and so was that Steelbook. So this is the US release of Once Upon a Time in the West Blu-ray. Okay, so we got one more shelf here, and then I'll show you guys some miscellaneous stuff later after the video. This shelf's going to be kind of hard to get to because I'm kind of a tall guy and I got to get way down here. So the first one is a documentary, and it's called Outlaws and Gunslingers. It's a 5-part series. Here is Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, 2-disc special edition. Here is The Proposition. A Reason to Live, A Reason to Die. Studio Canal Red Sun. Return of Sabata. The Revengers. Roy Colt and Winchester Jack. Sabata. Sam Whiskey. Euro Westerns Volume 1, The 7 from Texas. Here is Shane. Shane on Eureka from UK. This one is called Shoot the Living, Pray for the Dead. Shoot Down the Sun. Showdown at Boot Hill. This one is called The Silent Stranger. The Spaghetti West, another documentary. The Spaghetti Western, it's like a little box set. You get 29 hours of spaghetti westerns in the tradition of the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a 10 DVD set. It's really good. Let's see, take a look at some of the titles on here. If you want to pause that or just kind of slowly go through it. Some really good titles on here. It's a good set. Put out by Timeless Media Group. I think they're an offshoot of Shout Factory. So that's that. We have The Specialist. The Stranger Collection. Support your local sheriff. Support your local gunfighter. Take a Hard Ride. Tepepa. Tombstone. Trinity Twin Pack. They call me Trinity. Trinity is still my name. Two Rode Together from Twilight Time. And this one's called The Ugly Ones, starring Tomas Milian. A couple John Wayne titles, The Undefeated and North of Alaska, or North to Alaska. 4K release of Unforgiven. Steve McQueen, Wanted Dead or Alive, Season 2. And Steve McQueen, Wanted Dead or Alive, Season 1. The Unholy Four, very good movie. Valdez is Coming. Westworld Steelbook. 5 DVD Western pack with a bunch of movies on it, cheapy. The White Buffalo. Wild Bill. Young Billy Young, Angie Dickinson, Robert Mitchum. Yankee. Yellow Hill, The Stranger's Tale. It's a film I helped crowdfund several years ago. And Young Guns, the original on DVD. So I'm going to stop it here for a minute, guys, and then I'm going to pick up and show you guys some stuff that didn't fit on the shelf. Okay, so I got a pile of stuff here on the bed, and I'm just going to finish the video this way. So from Blue Underground, the DVD of Menage, A Man Called Blade, starring Maurizio Merli. From Blue Underground, we have the Spaghetti Western Collection, and this is a 4-pack. You get Menage, Run Man Run, Django Kill, and the original Django. From Blue Underground, we have Compañeros on Blu-ray, A Bullet for the General, Django Kill, If You Live, Shoot, the original Django starring Franco Nero, and the last one from Blue Underground is Man, Pride, and Vengeance. This is an olive release of a James Cagney film called Run for Cover. Film from 1955. It was a fun watch. From Scorpion Releasing, we have Barbarossa, starring Willie Nelson and Gary Busey. Another one from Scorpion called The Wicked Die Slow. I watched this not too long ago. Here is a digibook, the US version of How the West Was Won. It's a pretty thick digibook. I'm not sure how many pages. I would say probably 30 to 40 pages, I would guess. This is not a DVD, but it's a media book from Italy. This is all the Western scores from different spaghetti Western films from Ennio Morricone. Here is the digibook of The Outlaw Josie Wales, one of my all-time favorite Westerns. Easily in my top 5, maybe even top 3. Here's a German media book for a film called Soldier Blue from 84 Entertainment. It was limited to 666. I got 570. I'm trying to see. It was a film from 1970 starring Candice Bergen. Here's a US digibook of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Here's the German coffin box of a film called Cemetery Without Crosses. Here's a Code Red Blu-ray of Cutthroats 9, one of the more gory westerns you'll ever see. It's got some pretty good gore in it. Another Code Red title, A Long Ride from Hell on Blu-ray. Here's a Code Red twin billing. Joshua is the western on this one. It's a blaxploitation western. Mr. Mean is more of an action movie. Here's Code Red DVD of A Long Ride from Hell. Code Red DVD of Vengeance. Here is a UK steelbook of Tombstone. Here is a US steelbook of the original True Grit, starring John Wayne. Pretty bland on the inside, but it's a pretty cool cover on the outside. Here's a US steelbook of Django Unchained. This is a different steelbook than the one I showed earlier. Here's the Grindhouse releasing of the Big Gun Down 4-disc set. Really nice edition, beautiful. Here's a UK release of Brimstone, a movie I still haven't watched yet. It's a more modern Western. And here is a UK release of Hostiles, another movie still I haven't watched. It's a more modern Western over the last couple of years. 88 films. This is Django Kill, If You Live, Shoot, starring Tomas Milian. Here's a Twilight Time release of Gun Fury. Synapse release of Django the Bastard. 88 films, Navajo Joe, starring Burt Reynolds. And 88 films, The Mercenary. Arrow Video double feature of A Pistol for Ringo and The Return of Ringo. Here's another Arrow Video, Kill and Pray. This is Arrow Academy, Terror in a Texas Town. I really enjoyed this film. Thought it was a little hidden gem. I had never heard of it before. I watched it. It was really good. Here's Django. This is the recalled edition. Here is The Grand Duel, starring Lee Van Cleef. Here is The Hired Hand, starring Peter Fonda. Here is Cemetery Without Crosses, the Blu-ray. Lee Van Cleef and Giuliano Gemma in Day of Anger, very good film. It's a very heavy set. Franco Nero as Keoma. My Darling Clementine, starring Henry Fonda. And a couple of box sets or seasons that I threw in that I thought should be included with Westerns, and that is Grizzly Adams. It's a show I grew up with, have fond memories watching that as a kid. And then, of course, Little House on the Prairie is an excellent show. I like the very first seasons, the first couple. I have the first 4 on DVD. I know these have been released on Blu-ray by now, but I'm just going to hang on to these DVDs. And a set that I do own, but I forgot to pull out, is the original Kung Fu with David Carradine. That is an excellent Western series. So I think I'll do a little recap here, and then we'll call it a video. And I think I got it in shorter than an hour. So there are the box sets. There are the Wild East. You guys let me know what you have in your collection. Let me know what I'm missing that I need to grab. And other than that, there's the pups are sleeping. I'm going to put my room back together now. I got to put all this stuff away. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. Leave any comments below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Later.